Hello, everyone. I'm Hall Davidson. I'm Senior Director of Global Learning Initiatives for Discovery Education, and I'm coming to you from home to share how to start your own very meaningful student media festival. I'm going to go right into my screen, and let's play that keynote. So I've been involved with media festivals for probably 30 years, from the time I was with LA Unified Schools all the way up until now. And the reason why I keep doing it is because it's so wonderful. The importance it gives to kids, the things you see on their faces are just huge. I'm sure you're going to like it if you decide to do one. At the bottom, you see the tiny URL, HD handouts. Everything is there. If you want to get that, it's also, of course, online at the CASE archives. So let's get started. Media festivals are fantastic for many reasons. It involves kids, parents. Here you see paparazzi taking pictures of kids as they walk down the red carpet. We've had limo companies donate a single limo that then picks kids up and then drives them to the front, drops them off, and then drives around and picks up more kids and drops them off. It's pretty exciting stuff. Step and repeat walls you see down there. All ages K-12 we've had, and every diverse kind of student there is has participated in and won the awards, including schools for the visually impaired who have actually won video awards, and the videos are quite good. I'll tell you where you can find those later. This is an elementary kid giving an acceptance speech. They have such a good time. These are middle school kids, again, giving acceptance speeches. Sometimes they're very humorous, sometimes they're very serious. It just depends. The acceptance speeches, to me, are a big part of what makes a ceremony a ceremony. These are high school kids that have won. There we're doing it at a performing arts center at the University of Southern California. That's me over there in the corner, beaming, because I've been the moderator for that festival for a number of years. This is a family whose student won, and they drove down to Los Angeles because we do it in Hollywood. They drove down to Los Angeles from San Francisco, and we're very proud. This is the kind of engagement parents will get. And for some kids who may not excel in other areas, this is a way in which you'll find people really have gifts. We have a ceremony. I think the ceremony is very meaningful. We'll talk more about the nuts and bolts of how to do that, but this is it. We're at that year we did it at a preview house, and everybody's having a very exciting time. There are state festivals. Louisiana has one. Also, there are other places around the DO. We are in the California Student Media Festival, and we are actually the oldest of all the media festivals in the country. You can have festivals that focus on specific things like STEM or PBL, special needs, recycling, marine science, plate tectonics. All these things can be highlighted. You can do a targeted media festival just for the science department, or you can do it for emerging technologies like video, VR, 3D, printing, AR, AI, robotics, writing. All this stuff can happen. You can do it for teachers. You can do it for students. All this stuff is great. It doesn't matter if you haven't had one before. This is a district in Missouri that jumped in. They, in 1 year, got more participants than we did in the entire state of California. It's because the superintendent really believed that every class should contribute an entry, which is huge. If you want to really get participation, get your principals involved, because there are many teachers who are great at this, who just decide that, they don't want to show off, or, it's not good enough. And if you have an administrator say, we need an entry and I think you should do it, wonderful things can happen. So teachers will not necessarily enter on their own, even teachers who are very, very good at all this material. This is an entry. I'm not going to show all the videos because you can find these online, but this is one from a district in Florida that just highlights marine science. They just do it for the high schools, and the requirements are that a kid has to use a video. They usually use it from Discovery Education, but it can be from whatever you want. They have to shoot original video, and they do an interview.
They are generally non-aggressive species.
So anyway, very, very cool stuff. This is a second language learner from an elementary school in the San Fernando Valley who had made a great video about the cultural differences when a student loses a tooth, because the tooth fairy comes in some cultures, but El Raton comes in others. So you have debates between El Raton and the tooth fairy. Anyway, all these are online. You can see those. This is a high school student who decided he entered the VR category, created an AR VR world, and the camera then takes you actually down inside the AR VR world, and you can see how he built that. It's his first time doing it. Very inspiring video. Again, all of these are online at mediafestival.org. Again, that's mediafestival.org. Anyway, terrific stuff. So if you're going to do your own, a couple of things you want to do. And I don't know if my little square is covering you up or covering up some of this or not, so I'll just read it all. You do want to establish a mission. You want to know why you're actually doing this. Festivals are great, your little Academy Awards, fantastic, but why? Teachers, community, curriculum, all this you can do. Once you establish a mission, the rubric will grow out of that. You need a judging criteria to decide this one's great. They're all great. Decide this one is the winner in a category as opposed to second place. To do that, because you want everybody to win, you really need a rubric. You need a timeline. You decide when you can have the festival, find a location, all that good stuff, and then you build it backwards from the date. You do want about a month to do the judging, which is important. And before that, you probably want to have a time where you have a deadline a month before the judging is due so that judges have time to do it. Again, great pictures of all these kids that have come. The real issue is, and you see across the top, many people who have started their own festival, the real issue is, why do you want to have one? And to do that, you'll then decide, and that's how you build your mission. Festival is a great idea, but start with it being focused. You can always expand it later. If this were an in-person workshop, we would now all spend time to write a mission statement, and we post it right there. We started doing this in Alaska. That's why it's the ASTEF Festival. But if you go there, you can contribute your own mission statement, and it's a really good exercise. Instead, I encourage you now just to pause the Zoom playback. Think about it. If you're watching with somebody else, write a mission statement. Submit it if you'd like to that tiny URL. Write a mission statement. Why do you want to have a media festival? What's the reason? And then submit it. So here's an example. Don't want to throw you off, but this was the first mission statement of the California Student Media Festival. And you can read it there. Excellent tool, media and technology, excellent tool, should be integrated into regular subject area curriculum. Rewarding exemplary work and great school programs encourages more of both. The media festival mission has changed in California. It has evolved, but this was our first one, and I was part of writing that. So I don't want to color you too much, but please hit pause, write a mission statement, post it on there, and then come back. I'll be watching. So welcome back. Hope you did write some mission statements. Again, part of the things might be to acknowledge and reward successful classroom work. It could be as simple as that. But the mission will drive the rubric. Here's the rubric that we developed, and we'll go over these one at a time. But your mission will do that. Because our mission was, as you said, to encourage and reward great classroom work, we built the festival, the first iteration of the festival, around classroom work. Now, the festival has evolved since then into more creative and project-based that sometimes transcends the limitations of classroom curriculum. But that was the first one. Anyway, whatever your mission is, it will drive the curriculum. Here again is our mission example in deeper detail. And again, you can pause this and read it if you'd like. But we believe students can do great work. I've seen unbelievable work from every kind of kids, from the gifted to the orthopedically handicapped, to people who had issues at home, people who had great loves for a certain figure, or for music, or for athletics. It's really a great thing. Anyway, you'll see that when you come out. So here's our mission vision. And you can see that it sort of begins, this is our new mission, celebrating student work through meaningful artistic expression. The festival began to honor more of media making as an art. So we evolved through that too. Anyway, here's what we developed as our rubric. And again, you can pause this or download it and see what you think. But we had three basic categories: concept and development, and you can see thought process behind the film. This is about the media making part of it. And if it's AR, VR, then it's about the AR, VR project. So this is the one for media, but you change that to be whatever it is you're celebrating. Again, 5-point scale, you see it there, 5 being excellent. So the judges will get this. We'll talk the details about where they do this online, but that's what the one looks like. We also wanted creativity, so that became 10 points. Notice the last one was 5-point max for the concept and development, 10 points for creativity. So again, your mission statement will drive your rubric. And again, you can see 10 or 9, and you see there's our criteria there. Down to the very lowest one, the project doesn't have focus. So that's innovative and creative. Here's media and technical. Everything has sort of its technical aspects, even if it's writing. You know, you have certain grammatical structures you want to maintain. Does that complement the creativity? Is it, either way, it can be different. So media also is a 5-point category in our rubric. And again, you can see we get from 5 down to 1. And with enough judges, you begin to get a numerical score, and that's how you decide who the winner is. Then you look at those and do your final judging. So again, I'd like to know what would be on your rubric. This should say one thing that would be on your rubric. You can go there again and post something that would be on your rubric. Think about that. Some people say everything has to be grammatically correct. Some people have to say you have to credit every source, because those are important to the festival creators, so they make those part of their rubric. What would you do? Hit pause, go to that URL, and say one thing that would be on your rubric. Again, in a in-person session, we'd probably give 10 minutes for this, but you're online, so just hit pause and then come back. All right, welcome back. I'm going to go to tiny URL and see what's there. Hopefully some great stuff. That's how it works. Now, you can do a lot of different things, different elements. This is a scaffolding. I don't know if you can see this, again, how much of the slide you see, but this is a scaffolding way to do it. A lot of teachers or people in the education community think, oh gosh, I can't, it's too much. I have a lot to do, you know, so all of which are valid concerns. So you can, we did this when we first started in California. You can do a challenge. You take elements like videos or music, sound effects, and you put those in a folder, and the kids will then take those and build a video project with it. Again, or a VR project with it, or an AI project with it. But they do that. And in that folder, kids will come out. And we did this for a year. We broadcast the winners on television. We had about 16 elements in there. The theme was westward expansion. We had wagon trains and buffalo and all kinds of stuff, trading posts. Never saw the same video twice. Now, every kid did it a different way, even though they had the same elements. It's kind of like when you're going through remember when you used to go to lunch counters or salad bars, and you look at everybody's salad was different. It was just astonishing to me. It's like a piece of art. Anyway, you can start with scaffolding. If you decide to do an AI challenge, Alexa has blueprints. You can find those online. And that's a good way to begin if your challenge is for AI. It's all about you. Okay, so here's the nuts and bolts. Get it? Nuts and bolts? Anyway, images. One, you got to find judges. These are one of the things that are important. You've got your mission, you've got your rubric. Now you've got to find judges. Judging is something everybody agrees to do, but then when it actually comes down to the half hour it takes to do it, it seems hard to find. So you do want to find judges. You want to solicit entries. Principles are important here, as I said before. You do also want to have a website to organize entries. You want to be able to put them in categories, again, so the judges don't judge everything. We have judges that judge, in the old days, English language arts. Now we have people that judge creative expression, or whatever our categories are right now. So you don't want judges to judge everything. You want to keep them in their discrete categories. You can organize that on the website. You want a location when you actually have the festival, should physical locations ever come back. If not, you do it online and Zoom it. We did the last California Student Media Festival online, virtually. It was really a great success, I think. We had students call in. They still get to give their speeches. They'd Zoom in too. We had people monitoring the Zoom entry, so we didn't get bombed. We had nothing go wrong. If you want to talk to us about how to do that, I'm glad to give you more information. You do want a trophy. Trophies are important. People like to have stuff on the wall. I think wall hanging trophies are probably the best, although you can do it however you want to. See if you can cut a deal with a local person. You see the video tape there because for the early days, we just spray painted a video cassette gold, put it on a piece of wood. That was the award. So you can do whatever you want. We have had people that have won so much their school had to make a trophy case for them. Nice. This is again when we did it online. I don't have pictures of our Zoom, but if you do a search online for California Student Media Festival on YouTube, you'll find our 2-hour ceremony. It was really fantastic. My favorite year for an in-person venue was when we did it at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Very famous, with the stars' handprints and footprints and cement, and our kids saw their projects on the same screen where they'd seen Star Wars. So it's very cool. Anyway, nuts and bolts again, you want to organize the clips. When you have a festival, you do want to show the work. You might want to show the top 3 entries. You might want to show just the winner, but you do have to make a clip. Otherwise, it can get very long. So for years, I've been the one that edited those clips, and you just take a 1 minute or 1 minute works pretty well. Longer than that, it's astonishing how people can get fatigued. So you'd make a 1 minute clip. So easy way, just take the first minute of the video. I like to go through and actually find the highlights, the best parts that they did, and that's the way we build a festival. Then you put them in order. We print a program online. We did something, I can't remember exactly how we did it, but you do want to know an order to see what it is. These are actually, this is a little different. This is when we just showed the winners. Everybody that came knew they were a winner. That's why they would drive down from San Francisco. But we then started showing the 3 top scorers, and the winner was announced as a surprise. So that turned out to be surprisingly effective. So you can do it either way. We've done it both ways. Online organization. One time we had everything in a single server. Now we ask people to put it on YouTube. That's how we download the clips. That's how people judge it. We put these in organizations so that, as you see here, if you're a judge and you're judging a single category, like you see it on the lower right, this is another festival, but educational information, another category is documentary, and there's all the URLs. At this festival, you did everything on Vimeo, and then the judges will look at all those and they'll score those online. So that's how I organize the entries. You do want to get, they'll watch it on YouTube or Vimeo or whatever you want, maybe your own server, and then they'll judge it online. They're very fancy ones have the ability to combine those functions where you watch the video and then right afterwards your score comes up. But there are different ways to do it. These are 2 ways to do judging online, Judgify and Film Freeway. You can look at those and see what you want. We've done it a bunch of different ways. Judgify, there it is, get started for free. And this is Film Freeway. So look at those and see which of those you'd like to do. You can always do it on your own Google form, of course. You don't have to do it this way. These people do festivals. Here's one they do, the San Diego Underground Film Festival. So they sort of do the soup and nuts approach. So those are 2 things you can do. Otherwise, you can do it all YouTube or Vimeo and your own Google form. Here's one. This is South by Southwest Gaming. I asked if they would let us copy their science fair judge form, and they said yes. So again, everyone here is in the science education business. You can certainly focus on whatever science you'd like. And I sort of been going more general than that, but hopefully you'll know this is about focusing on science. This is the Sidewalk Film Festival gaming, but these are judging forms for a science fair judge form, and they said, but it's a festival, so they said we could copy the form, so I share that with you now. Again, hit pause if you want to see the URL. Take nothing for granted. Your teachers may be great science teachers, but they may not know how to make videos if you're doing a video making project. Even if you're studying something like mitosis, it's pretty good to have kids explain what that is out loud and make a video. We've seen animations. We've seen paper slide videos. All of these have been winners. Again, it helps kids explain particularly scientific processes. We've seen drops of water go through the water cycle. That was pretty cool, where water drops will talk to each other and they go down and they come out from the cloud and they go where they go. Anyway, it's pretty cool. Lots of interesting things you can do. But make sure your teachers have support in making these things. So this is the Orcut Film Festival, and they have a whole list of tutorials that they can do. So make sure your teachers are comfortable with the whatever media you're going to let them accept it in. Again, people can do claymations and shoot it with their phones. They can do simple oral presentations, shoot it with their phones and send it in. It depends on what you want to do. But I will tell you that instructionally, to have a kid explain a process is invaluable. And perhaps you've known this already. Kids can do the test and they check all the boxes, and it's great when you ask them really to explain, the water cycle. Do they really get it? And you see kids all the time going, well, now that I'm talking about it, I realize that, anyway, that's what you want. So again, give teachers instruction on how to do that. Again, these were examples when we did, this is a different district, but an online judging form made with Google tools, and you can do that too. It's however you choose to do it. I actually am a judge in the academy, that's right, the actual Emmy stuff. And I judged this year the college television awards, the Emmys for those. And you can see that's, big deal, big professionals, and they're not that different. There's three categories, 5 stars, which means, 1 through 5, just like we do it. And you go on from submission to submission to submission. In this case, see at the bottom there, the 4th thing was they were asked, if you were accepted as a series, what would your next episode be? Which is interesting thought. So I don't know if you want to do that or not, since we're focusing on science. Can students be the judges? Could students run all this? Sure they could. It's up to you to decide to do that. We've a committed group of adults that do it, but you could certainly do it well. Could reward all those things? Yes. Again, because this is a science conference, hopefully you'll be building something on science at whatever grade level or whatever concept. There are lots of big picture concepts in the national science standards. You could have videos based on those. Those are pretty overreaching, and you might get some really great projects. All right, if you're going to do it in person, or even if you do it virtually, have balloons. Believe it or not, people love pictures in front of balloons. If you go to our website of our virtual festival from last year, you'll see we actually have animated balloons in the background. I realized their importance when one teacher said, I want to get permission to take the kids down, and this is when we did it in person. And the superintendent won't necessarily get permission. He just wants to know if there are balloons, because then it's a real festival. So anyway, we've always had balloons. Post the winners online. It's really good for celebration, inspiration, just terrific stuff. Again, here's samples of that. All of our videos are online, and I'll show you where to find those in a minute. Again, this is a festival, another festival, not the California Festival, but again, you see this is Florida, that all the things are online. And look at those categories. Animation, pretty cool. Grade level K2. Could they do animations? Yes, they can. And again, they don't have to be slick, depending on what your rubric is. They have to be slick. Book trailers, always fun. So for you, it might be science concepts. Who knows? Comedy and science. I would say of the science videos I've seen over the decades, they tend to be pretty funny. They don't have to be, but somehow there's always a hero and a villain in science. Anyway, more details, get a trophy. Again, you are going to want volunteers, or if you have a district superintendent or a principal involved on the steering committee, then they have the other duties as assigned power, right? So those are always good. You can find a funder for the trophies. We've done that for a very long time. It's changed. It was Wells Fargo Bank, and then it was someone else. You can see our funders on the side, but don't wait for one. A good way to get a funder, by the way, is have them give away some of the awards. Have some local science folks come and give away the awards for best science overreaching concept on the carbon cycle or whatever. And they go, these were really good. Can we help next year? You go, whoa, yeah. So again, whoever reads out the awards is an important part, and they get to see it and they get to be at the festival. So that's a way you can kind of find funding. In person, food's popular. Kids eat everything. We got that stuff donated by different groups, but food was always fun. Again, if you go back in person, have a step and repeat wall. You see there's one different one. Step and repeat wall is that thing you always see at sports events or anytime you see interviews, they have that. It's called a step and repeat. You get logos and repeat them. Discovery has helped people put together step and repeat walls. You see those there. There's a superintendent in front of the step and repeat wall. There's a proud parent, and here's just a person in the way. Step and repeat walls are a lot of fun. You can get them on Amazon. You can make your own. You can also get the little green ones. Again, looking forward to the day when we can we do that in person. But even online, you can get backgrounds that are pretty fun. You know, red carpets, and you see some of them in this presentation that are all pretty good. Again, we did different places. I'll let you see it again. But if that's again, should we do this in person? But again, go look at our festival online last year. I thought it went pretty well. It's 2 hours, so fast forward. There were also video challenges done by companies like Toyota. There were two middle school kids, excuse me, these were high school kids that won $15,000. Not bad. We gave them a big check, and then we had to explain what a check was. Anyway, just kidding. But there's lots of those, lots of cash awards. No kidding. So these are some that were done in the past. This year did kind of throw things off a little bit. You can check and see if these are continuing. There's some of the URLs. A lot of these, again, may have been one-shot deals, but do a search and find your way around. Again, if you get involved with our Educator network, we like to promote these a lot. Also online, you'll see a list of free resources for people that do festivals like this, and that's on the same website where this handout is. Again, more fun stuff of kids with things like that. This is what the handout looks like. A lot of these are companies and foundations that have created material for students. Lots of it in STEM, lots of it in science. If you click on those, not only have great online resources, but they also, some of these have video challenges themselves. Some can be a minute long, and they're worth $15,000. So that's pretty good. Again, there's Science Fair Central over there. You can see K-12, a whole section. This is online at the site, given early, and I'll give it at the end, tinyurl.com/HD, HD handouts. These are the festival producers for last year's, the 54th. Yes, we've been around 54 years, same amount of time as the Super Bowl. If you want to see examples, you can go to the winner tab at mediafestival.org, mediafestival.org. And because we've moved into more creativity and craft, we don't break them out into curricular categories anymore. Because they're all science instructors, you may want to do that. And if you go back to 2018, you'll see many years worth of science winners, and you can see those as examples if you want. Again, some are animation, some are documentaries, some are funny, some are serious, but take a look at those. And that's it. Again, there's the tiny URL to get these. I hope this has been meaningful for you. If you need to get a hold of me, it's hdavidson@discoveryed.com, hdavidson@discoveryed.com. Thank you very much. Again, I'll respect your time and let you go. Hit rewind and pause if you need something else. Thanks very much. And more examples, but we're not going to show those. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. And thanks very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it.